Hey guys, Harry here and welcome to Manchester City's January 2015 transfer targets. At the time of this video, all players have been linked to join Manchester City, but please understand at the time you're watching this may be different, possibly because a player has an injury or has already transferred to a different club. So today we're looking at Manchester City. Quite a few people have suggested that, including Caleb and Expert Games, so hopefully you'll enjoy this, and let's get into the first rumoured transfer. Even Rakitic of FC Barcelona only transferred in the summer, but has been rumoured to be unhappy at the club because of a lack of game time. Obviously a very good passer and dribbler of the ball, but also very good at set pieces. Probably not the best defensively, but that's not his role in the team. Always starts for the Croatian national team, and as I said, has been rumoured to be leaving. Got 3 goals and 2 assists. Would be a good transfer for Manchester City, although they do already have a load of fantastic midfielders, including the like of Nasri, Silva, even Milner's been really good recently, Yaya Toure, Fernando, all those midfielders, but he is a very good player. He's been linked to join United as well. We'll just have to see what happens. He was born in Switzerland, but as I said, plays for the Croatian national team and is 26 years old, so just getting to the peak of his career. Moving on to the next player, who's Kevin De Bruyne of Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg have had a fantastic season so far, the second in Bundesliga behind obviously but Bayern Munich. Kevin De Bruyne left Chelsea in the summer basically because of a lack of game time. I don't think Jose Mourinho really wanted him in the team because he didn't fit his game style, but nonetheless he's been in fine form this season, getting 3 goals and 10 assists, which is absolutely fantastic. Always starts for Belgium, a lot of Belgium fans are very fond of him, and he's similar to Rakitic in the way he's a good passer and good dribbler of the ball, but maybe not the best defensively. Would be a good transfer for City, but as I said, they've already got a load of great midfielders. Moving on to another player who currently plays for Liverpool and has had a very good season. Just got awarded the Golden Boy in Europe, which is a very good award. Raheem Sterling of Liverpool. Main position is a winger, but can play as a more central attacker midfielder. Was actually born in Jamaica, but plays for the England national team and is 20 years old, so very young for a footballer just starting to get his career off. Has 3 goals and 4 assists for Liverpool in the Premier League so far, which is certainly not bad. But he's just done so much more than that. He's worked really hard defensively this season, and his passing has been great. It's just his general finishing that he needs to improve on. Against Manchester United, he had a few opportunities where he could have finished, but didn't do so, mainly because of David De Gea's brilliant goalkeeping. But nonetheless, he's a very good player. And Manchester City don't actually have too many good wingers. They've got Navas, and Sinclair, but Sinclair never plays. Silva can play in the wings, but you know, he's not really a winger as much. He's more a central midfielder, so you know, Sterling could be a good transfer for them. The price they're looking at is pretty ridiculous. That's what it's been rumoured. It's like something like 60 million, which is way too much in my opinion, but anyway, would be a good transfer for Manchester City. Moving on to a player that's been heavily linked with Manchester United in recent years, which is Wesley Schneider of Galatasaray. He's been rumoured to be unhappy at the club and wants to leave, although it's apparently rumoured that Galatasaray have blocked his transfer away from the club. Very good player, obviously a very good pass for the ball and very good at set pieces, often scores a lot of free kicks. Regular starter for Louis van Gaal in the World Cup and played very well there as well. 30 years old, so probably starting to get to the end of his career, the twilight of his career, but still a very good player and would provide a lot of experience for Manchester City. It has been said that Manchester City could use him as a way to keep Lampard if they could basically buy Schneider and then loan him to their New York franchise club. We'll have to see what happens there, but anyway, would be a good transfer for City. Moving on to a striker, obviously Manchester City have got a few injuries now with strikers, the likes of Jovetic, Aguero and Dzeko injured, not leaving them with no recognised striker really, so Bony would be a very good purchase for them. Obviously very strong, powerful player, very good finisher of the ball, playing for Swansea City, plays for the Ivory Coast or Cote d'Ivoire national team as a striker and is 26 years old, so reaching the peak of his career, you could say, and has already got 8 goals in the Premier League so far this season. Moving on to a central defender. Now, Manchester City do have some good central defenders in the form of Kompany, Di Michelis and Mangala, although Kompany seems to be injured quite frequently. He's injured currently now. Di Michelis is getting old, reached the end of his career, you could say, and Mangala does tend to do a few mistakes now and then. Very good defender, but does do a few mistakes. So if they could get Mats Hummels, him and Kompany would be a fantastic partnership at the back, probably the best in the Premier League. And obviously Mats Hummels had a very good World Cup, 26 years old, very good positionally. Dortmund in the relegation zone as well, so he might want to leave, we'll just have to see. Born in Germany and plays for Germany. Moving on to Isco of Real Madrid, an attacking midfielder. They're said to be happy at the club, although hasn't really got too much game time. Obviously they've got a wealth of fantastic players at Real Madrid. They're currently on a 22 game winning streak, which is absolutely incredible, winning the Club World Cup. 22 years old, so very, very young player, but not getting as much game time as he would want. Hasn't really got into the Spanish team as a starter yet, but in future years you would expect him to. Very good passer, similar to Rakitic and De Bruyne, very good at set pieces, but not the best defensively, but that's not his former team. Moving on to another Spanish central midfielder, which is Koke. He's a very, very good player, can do pretty much everything. He's got so many strengths, including passing, tackling, crossing and his general work rate. Has been linked with the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal and Manchester United in recent years, but I think this would be a good transfer for Manchester City. He's just a very good player. Was a big reason for Atletico Madrid winning the title last season, and has got 8 assists in 15 appearances so far this season, which is very, very good. 22 years old, so very young still, like Isco, and would be a very good transfer for Manchester City, rumoured to be worth about £40 million. Moving on to a centre-back who plays for Celtic, who is Virgil van Dijk. Very, very good positionally, got a bit of pace about him as well. Hasn't quite got into the Netherlands starting team yet, but in future years you would think he would. Has been rumoured to be saying he wants to leave the club because his wages aren't high enough. And a Premier League club would obviously offer that, especially Manchester City, a very wealthy club. So yeah, it would be a good transfer for them. Probably wouldn't be a regular first team starter at the minute, but I'm sure Manchester City, if they signed him, would be able to improve him and possibly get him starting regularly. We would have to see, you just don't know. 23 years old, so still a very young centre back, but looks very, very experienced already, so would be a good transfer. Moving on to the penultimate player of this video, and that is Alexandre Lacazette, who has been in superb form this season, netting 17 goals and 5 assists in 19 appearances in Ligue 1 for Lyon. Lyon have done very well, they're second in Ligue 1 at the minute, heading into the winter break. Brilliant finisher, obviously, as you can see, but also very good at holding up the ball generally, waiting for the midfielders to overtake him so he can pass the ball to them. 23 years old, so another young player. And as I said, probably not a better player than Dzeko and Aguero in particular. But, they've got injuries at the minute, so it would be a very astute signing for City, and he would definitely net them goals if given the service. And finally, our final player of this episode is Paul Pogba of Juventus. Plays in central midfield. A lot of Manchester United fans will know him. He obviously left the club a few years ago. Wasn't getting enough game time, so that's why he left. 21 years old, so another young player. Probably won't leave in January, but he could leave in the summer. Born in France and plays for the France national team. Obviously very good at long shots, very good passer, but something people don't really know is he's a very, very good dribbler, especially those in England don't really know him as a good dribbler, but that's probably one of his main strengths. Would be a good signing for City, but as I said, they've already got the likes of Fernandinho, Fernando, Yaya Toure, and obviously Lampard at the minute in central midfielder, so he probably wouldn't get He might not start regularly, which, you know, obviously is what he wants. So he's at a good club at the minute in Juventus, but probably won't leave at the minute. That's the video, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Obviously a lot of these players are likely to leave in January, but in the summer they could certainly leave, and they are targets for Manchester City. So hopefully you've enjoyed. Leave a like if you have, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and tell me who you want to see in the next video. Actually, it'll be the one after that, because Barcelona are next. Hopefully you've enjoyed, and goodbye.